Packing Class 9. So, first, let's have our introduction with the author. So, the author is Jerome K. Jerome. He was an English writer and humorist. He is best known for his comic travelogue, Three Men in a Boat. He is also known for essays such as Idle Thoughts of an Idle Fellow and Second Thoughts of an Idle Fellow. So, we'll cover this chapter in three parts. First, we'll see about author talking about his interests and feelings while packing. Then George and Harris packing the hampers, and then Montmorency the dog. So first let's see paragraph 1, 2 and 3 what all important points or the points on which questions can come are there. The author felt that packing is one of those things that he feels he knows more than any person living. When the author started packing, what was George and Harris doing? George spread himself over the easy chair and Harris cocked or raised his legs on the table. The author wanted to boss the job and wanted that George and Harris should potter about under his directions. There is nothing that irritates the author more than seeing other people sitting about doing nothing when he is working. Jerome lived with a man who made him mad. How? So this is the answer. Once Jerome lived with a man. The man used to loll on the sofa and watch Jerome working about alone for hours. His eyes pursued Jerome all the time while he worked. The idle man talked tall that life was not an idle dream but a great task full of duty and hard work. Here, talked tall means talked with exaggeration. He also said that he often wondered how he could have survived before he met the author. In this way, the idle man made Jerome mad. Seeing paragraph 4, 5, 6, and 7, these paragraphs tell us about packing the bag. How many times did Jerome unstrap the bag and for what reasons? First, to put the boots in, second, to find his toothbrush, and third, to take his spectacles. Remember, for the soap, he did not unstrap the bag. He said that he doesn't care whether the soap was in or not. What horrible idea occurred to the author and why was it horrible? The horrible idea that occurred to the author was whether he had packed his toothbrush. This was a horrible idea because he always forgets to pack it. If he remembers packing the toothbrush, he would pack it before using it and have to unpack again to get it. It is always the last thing that he turns out of the bag and repack and forget it and has to rush upstairs for it at the last moment and carry it to the railway station wrapped up in his pocket handkerchief. So the bag was finally strapped up at 10:05 p.m. Coming to paragraph 8, 9, 10, and 11, packing the hampers. So, George and Harris were packing the hampers. They first started with breaking a cup. Harris packed strawberry jam on tomatoes and he had to scrape it with a teaspoon. State the things done with the butter to pack it. George trod on the butter. Then they tried to put it in the kettle. They scraped it out at last and put it down on the chair. Why at last is written? Because in the kettle, what would go in, it would not come out easily. Harris sat on it and it stuck to him, and the finally packed. It was packed in the teapot. They packed the pies at the bottom and put heavy things on it and smashed the pies in. They upset salt over everything. And what was the rate of the butter? 1 and 2 pence worth. Coming to paragraph 12 and 13 about Montmorency the dog. Montmorency's ambition in life is to get in the way and be sworn at. He feels Montmorency's ambition in life is to get in the way and be sworn at. And when does he feel that his day has not been wasted? If he can squirm in anywhere where he is particularly not wanted and be a perfect nuisance, make people mad, have things thrown at his head. To get somebody to stumble over him and curse him steadily for an hour is his highest aim. What did he do? He sat on things just when they were wanted to be packed. Whenever George or Harris reached out their hand for anything, it was his cold, damp noise that they wanted. He worried the teaspoons and pretended that lemons were rats and killed three of them before Harris could land him with a frying pan. Coming to paragraph 14, 15, and 16 before going to bed. The packing was done at 12:50 p.m. and Harris sat on the big hamper and said he hoped nothing would be found broken. George said that if anything is broken, it was broken. This thought, in the textbook given as reflection, seemed to comfort him. They tossed for beds, and Harris had to sleep with Jerome, the author. Jerome preferred sleeping inside a bed. Harris said to wake him at 7, and Jerome said to wake him at 6 as he wanted to write a few letters. They split the difference and said 6:30. George made no answer and was asleep for some time. They placed the bath where he could tumble into on getting out in the morning and went to bed themselves.